Hello and welcome to episode 11 of How to Play Like a WoW Pro. Today I'm going to be showcasing a replay I had on Redshire with the STB-1. Let's go over equipment. On the STB, as I've said in previous videos, I run one loadout with Rammer V-Stab Turbo and one with Vents V-Stab Turbo. In this replay I choose the Turbo one because I'm thinking of going to this location here in the beginning to shoot their heavies coming in. And the quicker you get up there, the better chance you have of catching out their heavies in the open. But as you'll see, I actually changed my mind. And the reason why I changed my mind is because they only have 4 heavies and they have way more medium tanks than heavy tanks. And if you'll pay attention, we have 2 light tanks heading towards this area here to spot the cross. So I'm thinking if I come up here, I'll be able to shoot them crossing anyways, at least the slower heavy like the Amex M4 and the Wheezy. But then I'll also have the other opportunity to shoot their medium tanks potentially if their medium tanks get spotted in this area or if they get spotted up here. As well as an opportunity to shoot the enemy light tanks if they happen to be playing in this area like the Manticore is. So I try to find a shot on the Manticore. Unfortunately, I can't get one. And I'm hoping that my light tanks will be spotting this cross here because from this area right here, you can spot this cross. And as the heavies cross, you can shoot them from where I'm located right now. But as you'll see, our light tank isn't actually in a position to spot that cross. There's trees in the way, is the problem. And so he's not actually spotting them. And so in a second you'll see some of their heavy tanks get spotted all the way up here already. So they just cross for free basically. So my entire plan of coming here to get shots on their heavy tanks crossing basically failed. So I only get 1 shot of damage to start off this game. Since our light tank isn't really spotting the cross, I decide, and since their heavies have already crossed, I decide to relocate over here onto this flank so I can shoot the heavy tanks myself. I kind of make a mistake here by crossing through the open and the EBR shoots me. Another reason for crossing over here to this location here is not only to counter the heavies, but also because I see that this EBR keeps doing this run here. It's trying to spot our tanks that are sitting on the ridge here. And he needs to die for that, because if he keeps doing that, we're gonna lose this game. So from up here, where the E4 is sitting, you can also shoot where the EBR is doing his runs. So that's another reason why I rotated here. Also, if you just think about it, or if you have experience on this map, you don't really get much from this area after the initial, unless your light tank is actively doing runs in here, spotting tanks in the middle. Otherwise, you can't really play against any of the tanks that are located on this ridge. You can't shoot anybody here if your light tank's not spotting it. It's basically a useless position after the initial game. The initial positions, I mean. So this position, you usually can't use it, but the STB has such amazing gun depression that it's one of the very few tanks that can actually play here, along with maybe the Kron and maybe a Sturv. But this guy's pre-aiming me, so I can't poke it right now. But I see that I have a shot on the Kron. From this location here, you can shoot light tanks that are doing runs like this, but you can also shoot up here. And then if anybody gets spotted on this ridge here, you can also shoot them. Here he's out of render, so I take some out of render shots and I hit one, which is nice. The main reason why I haven't gone here yet to where the Kron is, this is a very, very strong location, especially if you have gun depression, is first of all because I saw headshots out here. Second of all, because they were playing on the outside here, so this position doesn't really have shots on it. But now that I've seen that they backed off from this position, I'm expecting them to come around this side. And our Kron's not doing a very good job in this position, so I feel like I can go there and pick up some of the damage that he hasn't been able to. And so in a second I'll rotate over there. I guess I stay here for a second longer actually. I saw this guy fired, so I get a free shot in. And they're already there, wasn't even aimed at me, he was aiming at my teammates, which, you know, that's just great. Really, really good shot there. I think it's about now where I decide to go over there because I don't think I'll be able to get more damage. Oh, okay, that's what prompted me to go there. Their E4 gets lit over here. And if anything plays in this area, it's susceptible to you playing here. There's a good chance you'll be able to damage it. And once I get over here, I'll tell you a little bit more about the position. Where I'm poking now, if they're playing completely out in the open here, this is fine, but more often than not, they're going to be playing right here. And you can only shoot that if you push up here and knock over this tree and shoot them, or you have to go even higher than that up here on the ridge to be able to shoot them. And when you do that, when you go to either this tree position or to this position here, even higher up, you need to be mindful of tank destroyers who are sitting right here, and especially in this spot here. And if you see, they have an unspotted shit barn, and that's the tank that I'm most worried about when I poke high. But for right now, I don't have to poke high. I'm just farming this E4 from down here because he's completely out of position. Now keep in mind there are two RDs still, so yep, like I was saying, two RDs. And this position is way more arguable than this position here, so when you play here, you just need to be careful about artillery. I'll show you a trick. I don't know when I do it, but I know I do it at some point in this battle about how to avoid artillery when you know they're aiming at you. But we'll talk about that when it comes to that. Now right now, I know that they have well, I don't know, but I'm pretty confident they have a 4K5 sitting back here. In these trees here. And so instead of poking all the way up and shooting this Kron, I know that on my reverse, the 4K5 could potentially hit me, so I don't want to do that unless I feel like I should. So instead what I'm going to do is try to back him off by taking some blind shots. And if you notice what I did is I right clicked on the map. You can also left click on the map to make a ping where you want to shoot. And then you just shoot where your ping is. It's pretty simple. Most people know about it, but if you didn't know about it, it's a nice trick to have. Here I see that our team is over peeking on these guys, so I feel a little bit more confident that I can risk it and poke this Kron without dying. There I thought about shooting his turret face, but then he angled his turret upwards. And so when he angled his turret upwards like that, it made it way harder to penetrate, and I think it's probably like a 20% or even less chance to pen when he angles up like that. But when he wasn't angled up, I thought I had a better chance of penning straight through his turret since I was above him than going for his cupola, so I was going to go for that shot. We cleared this flank, so I decided to head back to this original position I was using. And it just so happens that their Leo gets spotted right as I head over there, which is super nice for me. He gets unlit. You can see he's still in my view range, and even though he's on the move, he has decent camo, so he doesn't get lit. He might have a camo crew, I'm not sure. Probably. And right now I'm just waiting. This is a close game. We're down HP, but it's still winnable, but it's kind of a stalemate, I guess. We've cleared this flank, so there's nobody fighting here anymore. It's going to be really hard to dig out this IS-4. At least I think it should be. But we did lose control over the middle. But somehow, well, I guess not somehow. I think it's this Manticore getting spots on the Leo, or maybe it's the E4. No, it's probably the IS-4 actually. But either way, they're poking up on this ridge and getting lit, which is very good. Keeping vision on this area is extremely important. And so I get a couple free shots into the Leo for his over poking. Here, I really want to kill their light tanks because I'm worried they're going to get unlit. And that was a very nice shot. I'm worried they're going to get unlit and then make their way into these bushes here. And then once they get in here, it's just a matter of time before our tanks start dying because they get outlit by him. And we can't take any map control in this area after they get into those bushes. So thankfully I hit my shot on their light tank, and I'm just hoping their Manticore won't do the same thing. Won't do what I said that he should do, I guess. Now our E4 gets pushed here by 4 tanks. And I have 2 options right now. I can either fall back all the way, or I can just stay here in this super good position and just trade as much damage as I can before they push me and I probably die. And so I decide to stay because I'm confident I'll be able to get off like 4 or 5 shots before I die. And I'll also get some spotting from our artillery, and I just think that it's the best opportunity for me to get damage before the end of this battle, because I'm thinking we're probably going to lose if they push me. So I'm playing this position. Now pay attention to what I do here. I baited these artilleries. Now watch, I'm going to turn it back and we'll watch it over again. It's kind of an art to doing this, but I'll try to explain what I'm doing. So I know that I'm lit right now. I know the arties are going to be aiming at me. So I go forward. I go forward here, and then I go back. And I want to sit still. I want to sit relatively still long enough that they line in their shot and they shoot. And then I want to move as soon as I think they fire. So I sit here, bait their shot, and I hear their shells, and then I immediately pull back. Now the advantage of sitting in one spot and then moving as soon as they fire, compared to just moving back and forth, is if you move back and forth, you don't know where their shell is going to go, so it's hard for you to dodge. If you just sit still, you know exactly where their shell is going to go, if the shell hits their target, that is. Which most of the time it will, more often than not. And since you know exactly where it is, you know that if you dodge in one direction, you will avoid most of the damage. So even if they splash you for a little bit, it's better than risking just going back and forth, because they'll probably just aim somewhere in the middle and probably splash you for more damage. But you have to time it very well. If you time it wrong at all, then they could just hit you, because you're sitting mostly still. And forgot what I was gonna say, to be honest. Now I see that they're Wheezy and their Manticore are lit over here. They could still technically push me because they have a full health Leo. At least he was last spotted at full health. And so that's what I'm most worried about, is if both of their Leos try to push me, because I have no tanks behind me except for artillery. What I'm not expecting right now is for their 4K5 to push in, because he hasn't pushed in all game, and he's a 4K5 player, so he's most likely just sitting there, like pre-aiming this spot. That's what I'm thinking is happening. But as you'll see, I'm actually wrong about that. I'm still taking blind shots at that 4K5 position, because I expect him to be back there, but I'm actually wrong. He's pushing in. And this is the power of this position, is especially in something with gun depression, you just go haul down on whoever's pushing in and you just farm them. Here I actually load HE because I wanted to make him a one-shot for me because he was originally a three-shot, but then our artillery hits him, so I switched back to AP. And now that he's stuck in this position here, I know that after I get unlit, I can run, go through this low ground unlit, and then pop up here and I'll be able to kill him. I wanted to get unlit before doing that though, if possible, because if he sees me leaving, then he might just take that opportunity to push up on me and try to kill me. Fortunately, we have the replay bug again, so you can't see my ammo type or reload, but this guy actually hits a super nice shot on me. I don't know. It was a nice pen. He hit my cupola, it looks like. I try to dodge. And he tries to run, which is the right play by him. Because if he would have stayed there, I would have just gone higher up on this ridge and killed him. So he runs, which was smart. But I get a free shot for him leaving there. Now I know artillery is aimed at me, so I'm going to try to play on the backside of this slope to avoid shots. But I still want to get shots on this WZ-5A because I think I might be able to shoot him in the back. But I actually can't. He's too well covered. After this shot, it's kind of me just staring at him for like a full minute trying to get a shot, but I just never managed to get it. Try to go for the manticore, don't quite hit it. I don't know if that shot hit or what, but the crew had some kind of message, so I think I might have hit his gun or something. Now though, you can see this game is very, very close still, but it looks a little bit less like we're gonna lose. Mostly because I did so much damage to these guys as they pushed me. And I killed the 4K5, so we're looking to be in a much better position. But it's still definitely not a guaranteed win by any means. And I'm just waiting for this 5A to die because I know that eventually people will find an angle on him. I'm gonna say I think to our arty in a second that they should rotate to get a better shot. I'm relatively already safe here. It's going to be very hard for them to hit me because of the angle of the slope is just so high. I'm just waiting for him to die, to be honest. It's taking longer than I thought it would. There he goes. He goes down. And that frees me up to push up to here. Now this is kind of risky because their manticore hasn't been lit in a while since I last shot him anyway. And so I'm expecting him to be playing here because this is just a very standard bush. If a light tank hasn't been lit for a long time on this side of Redshire, they're most likely just sitting in this middle bush. And so I try to keep, I think I try to keep this bush in between me and him to move up to this rock, or maybe I don't. I think I go for a blind shot on the Leo first actually, because I see there's trees down up there. No, I guess I don't. But I'm thinking about blind firing here, because the Manticore is a one-shot, but I just don't want to get lit because I know I'll get arty'd right after. So I was right about him being there. I was pre-aimed and ready for him, and I killed him immediately. And I'm pretty sure their Leo's up there, so I'm trying to keep the house in between me and him. I see all those trees are down, but he's actually a little bit further left than that, so he gets a shot onto me. Now I'm just trying to avoid the artillery. But I see both of them get lit. And this Leo over here dies, so I know the only thing left are these two arties and the Leo. I think I can get a shot on this guy, but he's actually behind a house. The house on the cap. And I know I'm unlit right now, so what I'm going to try to do is kind of spot out whether he's there or not. It's kind of a tip for my spotting video a little bit. And he actually was there. He was just behind bushes, so I don't get lit for it. And that's basically the end of this battle. I don't get any more damage. I hit no blind shots this game, by the way. So this was the final score. I hope you learned a thing or two about how to play Redshire South Spawn, especially in a tank with gun depression like the STB. And hopefully I learned you learned a few things about how to avoid artillery. I think that's it for this replay. I don't have any other replays planned right now for a while, so I'll have to stream more to make more replays, but that's basically it. So I'll see you soon. See you later.